once more again because I just got done bragging about one of my plants, and when I went to go and like do something over by them, the light fell and knocked the ones that were growing the most onto the floor. We love that though. That doesn't just shatter you inside. But yeah, please don't mind my heavy souled neighbors. But yes, I got a bit of a list this time too. That's the only difference with these panels. Let's just be honest, I do not like them. I had fun painting them. It made me like focus and calm down and all the good things that paintings make you have to like sit back and do, which is like reflect and think about, you know, you got time to calm your mind. Not these though. These were exhausting, and this is probably the one that I like the least. It's overwhelming. It doesn't make me smile, and it may be something like if you've watched them in succession, I'm not really enjoying my art recently. I am. It's just that I'm not impressed when it takes such a harsh turn. Like these purple ones, they're not all perfect, but I enjoy them way better than I do these. But not the point. And also I didn't do a proper intro. How are you guys? Hope you guys are doing well. I hope that you're eating and, you know, happy. I have a candle lit here. It's called Cranberry Dreamsicle, and it smells, and this is also the thing about doing things like a little bit in the future, is when I first opened this, when I smelled it, it smells really good, it smells really strong. While it's burning, I mean, I smell it if I walk away from being right next to it, which is insane. I don't really understand that, and it's not nearly as strong as it is in the thing, so that's pretty fucking disappointing to Whispering Willows candle, Cranberry Dreamsicle, by the way. But let me go to my very necessary list. So let's just talk about it, right? I'm gonna choose one to like hold up so like I can talk about it. This is probably my favorite one, probably because it looks kind of like the black and white one, but harsh colors, purple and black, so these colors don't really go together. I don't know why, like in hindsight, why I chose something so stark like the color black, but overall it did not like what I was envisioning did not transfer. And this is going back to the very first video when I did the panels. No, they're not good colors to mix together. And so I tried to introduce like a light gray into this one to like take away from the heaviness of the black, but it didn't work. And these panels are cheap, and so I see so many different like textures that I'm not a fan of. And my paints are old, so there was a lot of just stuff going on, but I love using old paint. It's less to do with that and more to just do with like, I'm not used to things looking textured, because being a 2D artist, everything is kind of flat and you have to create the texture, you have to create the 3D effect. Whereas painting overall, when you continue to layer and layer and layer, eventually you're going to get here, which is kind of a cacophony to me, but I'm not a fan of this at all. And I said something in the last video that I'm not even going to bring up now. The second thing, they're too small. don't know if you can see this, but this is not even how big I work normally. I normally work this big. This isn't even a fourth of that. So like, this is really tiny, and I'm not a fan of that. I like to be able to like see. Like you can see from afar, of course, but it's like, geez, they're too small for me. I don't like working small. I think that's something else that this has taught me, is that I don't like working small at all. It's like, it limits how much I can do, for sure. And then I said it's too boring, and what I meant by that is, if you've looked at my paintings, this has come up before. And so I'm like gonna circle back to what else I think it may be outside of it being boring, but it is pretty boring. Like there's nothing about it that stands out as being like, this is the painting I need to be happy for this week, or for me to add it to my collection, or anything like it. Nothing's screaming that to me. And this is not being harsh about all of my painting. This is these in particular, because I feel like I was trying to add every single element that I've ever done in my paintings recently into these, and it just turned out to be kind of shitty overall. Like black, I should have done like a deeper shade of purple instead of the way I was doing it. It's whatever. So yes, it's very boring. It's very boring. And I'm also learning from that boringness that I'm not as much of a fan of doing these, like these shapes, these blobs. Like they're fun, but they're repetitive. Like that's the thing about it getting boring. I've done this since I've started, and when I first started, it was oil paint with the purple and green one, and then it was ink, and I was still enjoying it. And I think it was because it was the ink that it made it so like fun to do. And then I get on to the third one, which I believe was this one, and then I move on to some smaller ones. And oh wait, no, I did the smaller ones first, then I moved on to that one. It's just too much of the same, and so I'm like, just not a fan of it overall. I'm just not a fan of it. I'm getting bored. And let's just be honest about another thing too. The last time that I worked on these, genuinely, was the last video that you saw of me working these. I have not attempted to touch these since. And maybe it's because I intentionally did it that way. I will have to go back and watch the other video to find that out, which I don't feel like doing. But I just wasn't expecting for me to totally lose what I thought this was going to be. Like, I had no idea what I wanted this to be after a while. And it could have just stayed the way it was, but that looked like I did 1 to 3 layers max, and then I just said, screw it. But like, I didn't know how I wanted to orient these, and then I did this like really harsh black background on this one that I didn't know how to cover up. And so I just layered purple on it until I went mad. Like, it's just so many things that kept going wrong with it, but I kept pushing. And in the end, like, you're gonna see it doesn't look that bad. The way I'm talking about it is just, this is something that artists do. When you are the crafter, when you are the person working the thing, you're obviously gonna have a more keen eye to the things, right? And like, the camera is really forgiving. Not only to like blurry and stuff, like it makes this look like I was doing something. Although there are a lot of times where I'm like messing up very obviously. And I think that's also something I noticed with this. Every time I would make a mistake, I would just kind of like branch off with that mistake and like continue to push it and like make it into something. And that worked for a few of my pieces. It's not gonna work every time, and that's the thing that I'm having to like plan with this one. Although I do still plan on like just sewing this and like editing, whatever. It's just, it's not the best, man. Like, it's just not something that I can sit here and say, I'm proud of this one, top tier. This is like one of those ones that you just put in the, hey, this is also something I have just in case you wanted something of mine, you know? I'm just not a fan of these ones. But that doesn't mean that in those videos I wasn't actually working hard, like trying to get it right. So I feel like I need to like understand how I interact with painting again, because I know patience is a huge key. Skill is another one, and I've never claimed to be a painter ever. I just like it because it's very calming and it's amazing. If you have never tried painting, what? And two, it's amazing. Like, it's just amazing. So that's what I would have to say about that. That aspect of it. It's just, it hasn't been touched. It's been pretty neglected. So yeah. And I see why, because I'm just not a fan of it. It's just repetitive. And I kind of have in shot this barely started commission that's gonna keep transforming. I don't know that you'll see it every time, because like when I get embarrassed of it, when it's in its ugly phases, I don't really like to show them. But this has made me realize that I'm capable of painting well, at least. Like, I may not be as good yet, but I'm at least capable of like taking the elements and principles of design that I know for drawing and apply it to painting, which is how I was able to like surprise myself that I did as well as I did on the vinyl. Although it is like a weird shape, I'm not talking about the shape of it, it's more of the reflection in it and like the attention to detail that I'm enjoying. And then like the sunflowers are kind of making me hezzy too. We have this like, but it's only because commissions push me. When people request for me to draw new things, it pushes me to like step into a zone that I'm pretty sure I'm familiar with. And I've never painted a vinyl for sure, but drawing a vinyl maybe, but painting it, no. So that's very new for me. I'm like nervous to do the inside of the sunflower because of that same reason. And so I think having this one and then doing that one, it's made me realize that it may just be fear that I can't do as well in it. Like, when I go from drawing to painting, it's like, okay, I did really good over there, that's good. And then I go to paint and it's like, okay, now I'm back at amateur level. Like, now I need to like relearn things and like understand it in a painting lens and all of this stuff. But that's all a part of it, right? I'm just, yeah, I think it was fear. I think I was scared that I might not like how I paint, and circles and lines are very easy. And even my favorite shape, I don't think has shown up once in my paintings, because that will require me to have to step into this perfectionist mindset that I'm also kind of afraid of reaching my painting, because painting, like I said, it's very relaxing for me. That's like, that's time to chill, that's time to think and whatever. Like, I didn't want it to become stressful the same way that drawing can be stressful. I found a pretty good balance with drawing for sure, I feel. But it can all be very like, I don't know, intimidating. But I still plan on painting. Every time I pull a paint with me, I will be painting. Even if it's on something old or something new, I will be painting. Even if it's just gessoing everything. Because like, I was doing that to a few of the old ones and I haven't gotten through them. So I can do that for one of them and give myself a break from having to like feel like I need to create on camera, and I can just continue on camera. With that, to see if I have time for updates. Okay. So yes, outside of my plant falling and devastating my soul just now, and I totally don't even know what's happening inside of that one. I think yeah, one of them fell and all the dirt is going out of it, and one of them fell and like I think I mixed them both together. I don't know. I was so shook. I was not expecting that. What else? I'm still playing my DS. Apparently, and it's old. It's old. Obviously, they want everybody to get Switches and the new systems, whatever. It's old, but my brother hacked it, and so the hacking program that he used still updates. And apparently, if I was to enter my Animal Crossing, I'd be able to go online through their servers. And so I think that's cool. That's really cool. I just found that out recently. I'm planning to, okay, I'm planning on a pretty big switch, right? So and please, if my nails are dirty, that is from the plants. That's from the dirt. I had to clean that up. I was not gonna be able to sit there and watch them do that. And like, now they look like they're kind of like thriving. They look hurt for sure, but they look like they're thriving. So I'm here for that. But yeah, that's why my nails are dirty. What else was I gonna say? It has something to, so the way I'm writing October, the way that I'm drawing October and the way that I'm writing the Sages, I feel like they need to be switched. Like, or I just want to make the Sages into a comic book form or like a visual novel of some sort. Like, I don't know, because I recently went back and I added more to the Sages, and so I'm like, I'm wrestling with that too, like trying to see if I want to flip them or did I make that one into its own. I don't know. That's a terrible noise. And finally, I feel like the most important one is that officially for me, I'm no longer going to be 23. I'm going to be 24. The thing is, that SpongeBob joke won't really apply until next year, but yeah, that's what's going on for me. I'm excited about that for sure. I hope you guys enjoy it, honestly. Don't beat up on yourself about your art. If you're going to talk about your art, talk about it critically. Like, try to look at it from a bird's eye view, which is what I hope I did when I was talking about mine. Yeah, but with that, go talk to somebody that's awesome and go eat and do some jumping jacks.